and the dreams that wake us up in the morning. On the journey to success, every struggle will be worth it. Every denial will be worth it. Every failure will be worth it. But to get there, you must never give up.
Mic is muted. What's up, y'all? It's just Rondo. Welcome to the channel. I told y'all I was gonna come through with my own designs, my own Project Runway designs. So before we get started on this week's show, first I want y'all to like the video. Let's get the business out of the way. Like the video while you're here. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel. If you're not subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe. We talk about a lot of fun things over here. And yeah, share it with a friend because, you know, why would you be keeping all this entertainment to yourself? You should most definitely be sharing it with a friend. So before we get into this week's challenge, I told you that I was going to bring my own designs to the runway, to the Project Runway stage. So episodes 1 and 2, that was a lot. They crammed it all in together. So, you know, I'm just saying, I prefer not having multiple things to do on top of all of other things I do. So, you know, I'm going to try to stay in this game as best I can. Anyway, here we are. Episode 1 was the Disney princesses and the Disney villains. So I decided I wanted to be a villain, not a princess. And this is my interpretation of a Disney villain. So what I'm going to do after I'm done here, I'm going to go ahead to my YouTube, go to the community page. There will be a poll there and you can let me know. What do you think about my looks? My Disney villain. You know what I'm saying? Am I in the bottom? Am I in the top? Am I safe? That's what I want to know. Just to get your opinions on, you know, my personal style as a designer. What was the other challenge? The other challenge was athletic. Yeah, athletic wear. So this is my interpretation. It don't matter whose team it was on. I mean, because I'm going to always be on the winning team. There was no real direction over here. They had, I don't like to fall into these things where you do things. I wasn't going to use Jesus' ugly fabric. That wasn't going to happen. And so, you know, here it is. My version of an athletic. What was it supposed to be? Oops. It was supposed to be from the workout straight to, you know, out on the weekends. You could go out in it or you can like work out in it.
All pursue the dreams that keep us up at night.
Why does this keep happening? Technical difficulties. Please stand by. Here we go. Add it again, Rhonda. Let's see if I can find my athletic look. Thank goodness it's still here. So anyway, y'all, how is everybody's? What is today? It's Wednesday. It's hard to keep up these days. You know, it's Wednesday because you know what we call it? Hump day. Is your hump day humping? My hump day is not so humpy. It's just regular. It's just a regular day. Grateful to be here with y'all so I can show you the things I got going on. Unfortunately for you and me both, my technical, you know, y'all know, I feel like y'all don't have high expectations on me when it comes to, you know, being technically savvy. We get it, you know, how we get it over here. Think I got it. Whew. No, I don't have it. Why? It's not letting me add more things. Let's see. One more time. I'm going to try to add this one more time. Hopefully. Y'all going to forget what the heck I was supposed to be doing over here. Apparently I have too many things here and the computer doesn't like me. Is that already there? Whew. Geez, there it is. So this is my version of an athletic look. You know, you can take this to the gym if you want to. And if you want to, you know, go out and enjoy a good evening out, you could wear it just like this. You know what I'm saying? Or you can switch it up however so you please. So, like I said, I'm going to put up a poll and y'all can let me know what you think. Hopefully, you like it. But we're not here to talk about me. Did y'all enjoy the show? It was cool. I don't know. I'm going to go say I'm questioning just a little bit. I don't know. The format, I see a lot of complaining in the comments about how we like it before. Why do we not like change so much? I don't think the changes are just that, you know what I mean? Drastic. We're used to having different judges, and Heidi's back. Nina ain't went nowhere. Law Roach is something new, but I mean, there's always a tough one. So I mean, they can rotate these judges, which I like, because then you don't always get the same point of view. I feel like this lady is over here, whatever the sister name. I went to her website. It was okay. I don't feel like I would need to go back over there, but there's something for everyone. Anyway, I feel like it's cool to get different points of view because we like what we like. I know I have my point of view. That's why I'm here, so I can share it and then see, what you guys think. But having the rotation of judges and knowing like what's on trend and all of those things, I like it. I like it a lot. So I'm not mad at waiting until next week to find out who got the boot too. I mean, it just gives you time to ponder and look at the designs, because you can look at things in a moment and go, I hate it. Or opposite, you can look at things in a moment and go, I love it. And then after you look at it, you kind of switch things around and you're like, do I like it? I'm not sure. So I'm not mad at that. It doesn't change the outcome for the designer, but it does give the designer a little more time, I think, than just, being here for a few scenes and then get the boot. You got to come back and get the boot. Who got the boot? Did y'all have it right? I had it right. I knew this lady was going. I knew she was going to be out. She should have been out. This was a horrible idea. This was a bad decision. This had nothing to do with nothing. When you want to go work out, do you want to put a corset on? I do not. I don't really like corsets necessarily. Now, depending on what they're made out of, because you could throw a cute corset on if it's made comfortably. You know what I'm saying? Get yourself a little snatched. The whole idea of the top, I'm not mad at it. I don't like that little tail thing sticking out. She should have designed that better. I think the challenge might be, and I mean, it's a challenge for everyone, but when you start doing things like corsets on plus size women, you have to refigure your math. You want them to look snatched, but I don't know what that little tail thing was supposed to be doing. So you have to refigure your lines a little differently. I don't know what the time constraints are, but making a corset in a day is not smart. There's a lot of pieces involved. And the kimono is supposed to be comfortable, but I don't want to work out in it. Like, none of the things that she had going on here made any type of sense. So I'm not surprised, that she had to go home. And everybody else is safe. Another week of challenges. Group challenges. They don't like group challenges. I don't blame them necessarily, because it's not easy to create when somebody's pushing their ideas, on you. And there's always somebody in the group that wants to be in charge. As far as I'm concerned, in this type of setting, I could lead the group, but you design what you design if you want to. The parameters are given to you. You know what I'm saying? So if you get on the stage and you can't defend, your direction, that's on you. I'm not here to tell nobody what to do. And I'm not about to let somebody tell me what to do when it comes to my design, because that gets you in a lot of trouble every single time. And I don't know why these people, it is season 21. That means you already know that this is a thing, a part of it. I personally, let's go ahead and do the group challenges and get it out the way so I can focus later. And so I can feel out who I would want to work with if this comes up again. Because, in group challenges, you got to know people's personality in terms of making things happen. I feel like as a real designer, you're going to have to collaborate at some point, even if it's just with your client or the company you work for. Collaborations are involved. So there's that. Anyway, Ethan and Jesus were the challenge winners, so they get to create their own houses. These two fabulous gentlemen. That's always going to be a situation for those of us who are minimalists. And, do your thing, but let's see where it gets you in the long run. There's clearly a competition between Ethan and Jesus that I kind of don't care about, but if that's the storyline, then I guess we'll go with that storyline. So they pick their own houses. This particular challenge is they get bland fabrics and they're supposed to turn them into something beautiful. And the prize is Sofia Vergara will be wearing your dress or your design on the red carpet. On the red carpet can mean any kind of event. She's going to wear it to somewhere. Somebody get her picture taken in your design, and I think that's probably a very wonderful, nice thing to have in your portfolio. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like these designers, every last one of them, with the exception of a few, I'll give it to a couple of them. They went in this workroom and they were very much focused on their design and not focused on the fact that Sofia Vergara is the client. Your client is who you're designing for, not for yourself. You take your creativity and you tailor it to what the task is. The task is to dress Sofia Vergara on a red carpet. Not to give a shit what Ethan and Jesus is over here talking about. You take their direction, for what it is, and then, you move along. But anyway, Ethan and Jesus, they choose teams. Ethan's team, Joseph McCrae, Miss Joan, Yu Chin, and Angelo. I mean, it sounds like a good team. Is it? Because when you think about it, I mean, Joseph has been on the bottom and on the top. His designs are very creative and over the top. So, as a designer, I like him, but he's definitely needs, some editing maybe on those shapes that he's working on. Miss Joan is very seasoned, and I think she would do fine to not let anyone else on this team tell her what to do. I want to see what she does, and I want to see her take a little bit of youth from, I don't know, one of these Estrada brothers, maybe. I don't know, but the Estrada brothers seem to be not leading her down the right road. So pick somebody else. But who inspires you? Utica came this week. Utica should have stayed where she was, and Ethan should have still been here. But that's neither here nor there. Jesus picks Antonio. Of course he is, because they're twins, and if my brother or sister were there, I would pick them too. I'm just saying. Madeline, VJ, and Balania. That's an interesting team. Talent over there. Like, the writing's kind of on the wall when you think about it, but I think that the drama of the Estrada brothers kind of can be distracting sometimes, because Madeline, she's interesting. I don't know, if she's always my cup of tea, but I feel like I see her point of view, and, I see where her influences are, and, she's a good seamstress. That's always going to work in your favor. VJ is very interesting shapes, very clean. I'm not sure who she is, but, I'm going to let that lay where it is. And Belania also, I'm not sure. She's young. She's a streetwear designer. She's kind of all over the place at this point. So I can't tell, she hasn't done anything bad yet. You know what I'm saying? But, I think she's underestimated. And I guess we see how that turns out for everyone involved. Anyway, let's see these houses, what they look like. They got to pick out of a bag. And, whatever bland fabric is in the bag, then that's what they're supposed to take with them. We got the House of Catalina and the House of Hoes. House of Ethan, but he wanted to come over here and call these people the House of Hoes, and so it is what it is. He just came over here and made y'all some hoes. Yu Chin is a hoe, I think. Based on the things he designed. I feel like he said it himself, but anyway. Um, Ethan's team gets denim. I feel like the denim is a win. I guess it could be. But I had to choose, and I will be choosing. When I choose to create my design, it will not be out of wool just because I'm, going to wear it. So I need it to be denim because I'm going to want to wear it. Anyway, yeah, we got the Catalina flower. Nobody knows what the Catalina flower is, Antonio. They're sitting there like, what does that look like? You know what I'm saying? It's a good question. If you just name some flower to me, unless it's your typical, rose, daisy, the ones we see on a regular, I'm probably not going to know what you're talking about. So, yeah, he wants this collection to be inspired by the Catalina flower. And VJ is like, what is that? Like, I'm going to need to know what that looks like if I'm going to create something. I agree 100% with VJ. I feel like I'm not mad at VJ. When you need to be in a creative space, sometimes you need to give me a table over there and you Estradas do whatever that thing is you're doing, but I don't want to be bothered with it. And y'all are kind of tricky, Estradas and Ethan. Y'all are a tricky trio. So I don't know if you're leading me in what direction you leading me in, but I don't need a leader over here. I came to, show off what I do. Anyway, and please stay in the parameters of what the task is. Anyway. Team Hoes, their theme is showstoppers. And Ethan wants them to prioritize fringe. Once again, Miss Joan is definitely not comfortable with this direction. But instead of speaking up for herself, she wants to be a team player, and being a team player is going to get her sent home. I feel like Miss Joan is somebody who definitely has experience and knows her aesthetic and probably should have been like, I don't know that I'm going to be able to figure, like they came up with sketches and let him decide. So that's on you, Miss Joan. I would have been like, here's my sketch. And maybe honestly, just because as we see, later on in the workroom that things can go wrong, it might be a good idea to have a backup. You need one sketch that you really want to do and your backup. You know what I'm saying? So somewhere you can meet in that creative space. But no, Miss Joan wanted to let Ethan give her a show-stopping, fringy thing. And she's trying to make that into her aesthetic. And so, you get what you get. Christian comes in the workroom. She gets everybody worked up. He gets everybody worked up. And, that's his job to, push you limits. Angelo is making a pencil skirt, and Christian, of course, is like, I hope that's not your plan because the pencil skirt ain't really going to do a whole lot for you over here. I don't know. Angelo, I think, when people are into more simple designs, which I don't feel like is a bad thing, because if you're making menswear and streetwear, it needs to fit. Like, people actually want to wear that. Some of these designs are meant to be worn one time and hung somewhere, for a special occasion. That's not what he does. And so textiles, like, there's a cool way to figure that out. So, making, dresses that have been done way better. Like, I feel like that's an idea that was seen before, but that wasn't necessarily the challenge, because at the end of the day, Angelo, Sofia Vergara is supposed to go somewhere. You know what I mean? This isn't the avant-garde challenge. This is, I need to go to an event and I need a cool dress to wear. So there's nothing cool about, his design, I don't feel like. I'm going to show the designs. I'll get to it. Who else did he critique? He critiqued Melania, not in a bad way, because this one thing for me about a slack, if you can find a slack that fits perfect, is always going to win. There's something about a slack that's very tailored, to perfection, it's always going to win. And so I get what he was saying, but she was like, I hear what he's saying, but he hasn't seen, like, the idea yet. So she didn't allow Christian to distract her from what her idea is. And I don't think that's necessarily, then you can't get out on the runway and be like, Christian told me to change it, because that's not what he's doing. He's just telling her this better be a badass slack and some gray wool, and was. So there's that. Now that Christian has critiqued everybody, Ethan is rethinking things. And stop thinking, Ethan, because your thinking is what got us here in the first place. Yu Chin was over here doing the most. I don't know what his idea was, but it was some like pleating and rouging of some denim, which is a horrible idea, I guess, because it's just going to be very heavy. I don't know where she's going, but draped in denim seems like a lot. I feel like that technique is something that he could have used somewhere in his design, but not all over. So he was over the top and getting in a place where, listen, he had to start all over. And I feel like that happens as a designer, but you got to know when to fold them. And I feel like, 6 hours might not have been enough time for you to do your best. So, next time, don't wait so long to let it go, because y'all literally don't have any time. You need to be working on your backup plan while you're working on your plan, it feels like. Next day, because they only have one day. So the next day, Utica shows up. Why? I don't know what she came to the runway for, but I feel like she's the one that got everybody in trouble. If Utica wouldn't have been there and Ethan would have been there, they wouldn't have ended up, the way they ended up on the bottom. So before we get to that, let's talk about who's safe. I need somebody else's eyeballs. Okay, safe people. I don't know. I feel like, first of all, Yu Chin, I feel like you're just lucky. You're just lucky other people were way worse than this. And when you start doing these measurements, you're going to need to make sure that you add some inches on both sides of everything you do. Just a couple few. You like it so short, it's not functioning like this particular model has, long limbs and not a whole lot of body, but, only on the runway. What you gonna do with that in real life? The concept with the belt loops, I do like that, but I need that to be a lot more material. You think Sofia Vergara is going somewhere in this? I think she's not, but she might if you would have kept going with that idea, and you didn't have time. This idea with the belt loops, the dress made out of the belt loops is a very, very dope idea. But you ran out of time. You could have made the whole dress like that. The jacket, it's just a shrug. But, when you don't have any clothes on, you better be wearing a big old shrug to cover your ass cheeks up. Because even that little bitty lady, I bet her booty cheeks is hanging out the back. Anyway, this is a technique I really would like to see him work with again, because it could have gone, like in a very cool direction. So hopefully, like this project right here showed him something that he can do with that in the future. VJ. I don't know why. I feel like it's an unfinished idea, maybe. Because I feel like it's going somewhere, but then like the flap just looks like a flap. So I don't know. Maybe there needs to be another part to that skirt on the hips, still exposing the skin. But it's, for me, I just feel like it just looks like a flap standing there. It's just one step away from being heck yeah, because Sofia Vergara, I think, would wear that if it just didn't look like flaps. So VJ was safe. VJ makes very interesting shapes. So, I want to see more. That's all I can say about her. Her sassiness, like at least she stands up for herself. I'm not mad at that. Who else was safe? Joseph McCray is safe. I feel the same about his as I did about VJ. I think the shape of the sleeves, like it's a little too much. Like right at the shoulder, I feel like if he would have took that down just a little bit, it wouldn't be, it would be at a perfect, just right for me. This is my opinion. Let me know what you think. But I think just that point on the shoulder, if he would have just kind of smoothed that out just a little bit, it would have been a little more, because we dress in Sofia Vergara, remember? We're not dressing whoever this tall person is. And then there's a lot of pant. That's a lot of pant. Like you would literally have to be Zendaya or somebody like really skinny like that to be able to pull that off. But if it was Zendaya and not Sofia Vergara as the client, I would feel very much differently. I don't feel like Sophia would wear that because it's a little too over the top, but I see why he's safe. Madeline, I don't know. I'm not really a fan of this one so much. It's the collar is bothering me. Is it a jacket? It's got puffy sleeves. It's a lot going on in this dress. It's a lot and nothing at the same time. And when I mean nothing, it's a very basic dress with a whole lot going on at the top, I guess. And then there's slits at the bottom. It's just too many ideas for me. But I don't know who would wear that. I think there's probably a market for that girl. Editing the collar just a little bit. What's her name? Wednesday Addams, one of those groups of girls. I can see them doing this, on one of their red carpet things, but not Sophia. So again, I understand why they're safe. So let's talk about these top designers. We sailing right on through it, huh? Let's take it to the top. What do y'all think of these top ladies and gentlemen? What's his name? Antonio? Listen, it's a one-day challenge. I'm not going to take away from these two dresses that look very nice. I just feel like they was just giving it a whole lot. For me, so far, Jesus, I prefer his designs over his brother and Antonio. But Antonio's dress, I feel like, was a basic dress with fabric like a ruffle into a flower. Like, it's a nice dress. It's not spectacular. Would Sophia wear it? Maybe. Yeah, I could see her doing that depending on where she's going. But I don't think it's a wow. You know what I'm saying? Now, that coat, I could definitely see her wearing that coat. And I feel like she was probably torn between whether she wanted the coat or the little pants outfit. You know what I'm saying? Because that coat, Law Roach said that Antonio's dress needed to be a little more snatched. I felt the same way about the coat. Just a little bit. But yeah, I definitely like that coat. So this is the first week where, Jesus, I'm going to go ahead and give you your flowers, because the more I look at it, the more I like it. And then you're talking about, I don't know, wool fabric. It looks very, like that petal looks very, then I'm going to give them both credit for that. The petal with the wool fabric looks very soft, even though it's wool. But, I'm not really as much a fan of Antonio's as I am of Jesus. I would definitely wear that coat. And then Miss Belania, she took home the prize this week as, the number one designer out of everyone. She was picked last, but she came out first. And that's all that matters, girl. Let them pick you last and let them underestimate you, because I darn sure did, just based on what I saw with you, what you have on. And then, what I saw of your designs. If I would say anything, I hope that you are using these looks from Project Runway to build your Instagram portfolio, because when we started, you didn't have nothing over there. But, just take all that stuff. Don't even take it down, because it's cool to see where you came from. I would leave it there, but start flooding your Instagram with what's happening right here, because this right here is definitely something to talk about. The pants are cut beautifully. I feel like a lot of women could wear this. You know what I'm saying? So especially in Hollywood, I feel like even if you got body, you get a good pair of slacks, and that look right there is gonna go, on a lot of different women, a lot of different shapes. So kudos to Melania for being, the top. Who's on the bottom, child? The showstoppers. A showstopper. A showstopper. Remember that from Danity Kane? Y'all know Danity Kane. Anyway, this right here. It's scary. Law said he's mad he didn't come here looking at ugly clothes. What kind of hot mess is this? Utica. Because Utica made this. She was loving every second of it. She was loving every second of this foolishness. You think you're going to see Sophia show up where? Not even at the Met Gala. So I can't say really anything about this that I like. It's all bad. You was talking about you the king of boning or queen of boning or whatever. Put the boning down. I don't know that they would even like this over on RuPaul's Drag Race. I feel like Michelle will be asking you what the hell was going through your mind. So Utica, bring back Ethan. Oh, Angelo, I don't know what this is or why you did it. I don't know who in the world would want to walk around with those pokey things on their dress. And I didn't take a picture of the back, but the back looks just as bad as the front, if not worse. That strap, you are lost. These are not ideas that you should ever use ever again. Not ever. Just to put the pointy things, don't do any of it. It came with a jacket. You should have did like you Chin did and just put the jacket on and wrap some little bitty fabric around the lady's booty cheeks and pray to the guys that you're not the worst. But this right here, Miss Joan, you caught all up under the fringe. Why? Because you shouldn't have put it on that dress in the first place. I don't know if it's dress, if it's pants, because this fringe is in my way. I can't see it. I wonder what would have happened. That had a stupid. Take that off too. And you know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be fringe. If you was going to do something dope, do something dope. Don't put that fringe up there. It just looks crazy. That's what Sophia is wearing. Chances are not. I don't know. It's like, let's make a deal. Pick what's behind door number 2, because I don't know what's underneath that fringe. It could be cute, but you covered it up with all that foolishness. And then you said it's because you were a team player and you knew better. I feel like out of anybody, Miss Joan knows exactly who she is as a designer. So, just don't do that anymore. Don't let anybody tell you what to do with your designs. It's just, if you're going to go down for your own reason. Like Angelo over here. We don't know who's going home. We don't know who's going home. So that'll be the beginning of next week's episode. Who do y'all think is going home? I feel like it's going to be Angelo. And even though Utica's whatever that is a hot mess, it's still a better constructed hot mess than whatever Angelo was doing over here. That would be my only reason. Yeah, it's just that the construction, that's it. That's the only reason, because they're both like horrible. I feel like if Miss Joan just ripped the stupid fringe off, she might have something worth looking at, but we don't know because we can't see it. Anyway, y'all, like I said, go over to the community page and, check out my designs and let me know where I'm at with y'all. In the meantime, I might come back tomorrow for a little tea that came from my timeline. I feel like there's a lot of things going on and we might want to just go over real quick. But yeah, y'all, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye.